Hey, Today All Day. Welcome to Today Talks on this last day of August. We have a great show for you. Carson Daly brings us Pop Star. Simone Biles opens up in a candid conversation with her mom, Nellie.
One of our favorite people around here, Simone Biles, the Olympic champ, recently sat down for an interview with probably her favorite journalist. Sorry, it's not you this time, Hoda.
Bummer.
Asking the questions this time around was Simone's mom, Nellie Biles. The two shared a candid conversation about mental health in the Tokyo Games. Simone opening up on what it felt like to take a step back on the world stage. And here's a little bit of what she had to say.
Not a lot of people can relate to winning and to being an elite athlete and to doing the things and breaking the barriers that we're doing. But a lot of people can relate to like mental health and like normal people stuff because we're not seen as normal people walking around. But then once I kind of took a step back, I obviously was expecting to feel like a lot of backlash and embarrassment, but it's the complete opposite. And that's the first time I felt like human. Like besides Simone Biles, I was Simone and people kind of respected that.
Hoda, you were there. What's your take on that conversation with the mom?
What a beautifully intimate conversation.
Yeah.
I was just thinking how tough it must be for Nellie to listen to her daughter talk about the pain she endured. She loves her little girl so much, and to hear her be so open and honest about it. But I was texting Nellie during the Olympics, and she just kept saying, like, pray for Simone, sending hearts. So to watch them sitting together and seeing that.
Do you think her mom has a good idea of how many millions of people she is going to help by being so brave to talk about her mental health status?
You know what? I don't know that that's probably dawned on her. I think they see her as this incredible athlete. She's probably going to influence a lot more people through this. You're right.
It's a great conversation.
Yeah.
Dwayne Johnson, the pro wrestler and movie star, maybe used to playing a hero on the big screen, but The Rock recently drew some attention online thanks to one TikTok comparing his good looks to that of a real-life hero. Take a look at this.
I really don't think y'all are ready for this because this is insane. Look at him. You cannot tell me that is not Mr. Dwayne. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, it's him. That's Dwayne The Rock. You're not convincing me otherwise.
Is it?
That's actually Lieutenant Eric Fields of Morgan County, Alabama on the left.
Oh, wow.
Seeing his look-alike gone viral. Now, The Rock responded to this on Twitter, writing, "Wow, guy on the left is way cooler. Stay safe, brother, and thank you for your service."
Actually, a doppelganger?
Mate, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not surprisingly, Lieutenant Fields says he hears this comparison of looking like The Rock all the time,
kidding.
and for good reason.
Well, he's also ripped, too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
it
great
helps
compliment.
Looks like
You
he's
could
been-
use that to your bent for evil. Getting in all the great restaurants in Alabama.
Goodness.
Sign autographs.
He has used a little bit.
Welcome back today on the third hour. We are cooking with Cal. Dylan Dreyer makes her family's famous meatballs with a few special guests. Check it out.
It is time now for another edition of Cooking with Cal, and my little chef and I are making a cherished family recipe straight from Sicily with help from another special guest.
It's a special edition of Cooking with Cal. What are we making today?
Meatballs.
Meatballs. So we have enlisted the help of my mother-in-law, your Nana, right? And where did this recipe come from?
Well, this was Brian's great-grandmother's recipe. She brought it over from Sicily with her.
So Brian's great Nana means this is your great Nana's recipe. So we've got ground veal, ground beef, and ground pork. The secret, I think, is the eggs, right? That's what makes it
That's
fluffy.
at the end. After everything's done, then you put the beaten eggs on top of it, and it keeps it all together.
So where do we start? What do we do?
Okay, so we're gonna season the meat because it's very blah without it. So lots of salt, lots of pepper.
Do you want to do salt or pepper?
Lots of pepper,
Want to do
huh?
salt? Okay.
I'm gonna make this so salty. And you're gonna do garlic powder and onion powder.
Okay. That seems like a lot. So now we put breadcrumbs in a bowl
And then just add milk. Yep.
Calvin, I have something special for you. Onion goggles. Maybe you won't cry this time.
Put your hand on the
Ready for parsley? Wobble, 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 wobble.
Wobble, 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 wobble.
All right, so parsley.
onion.
No, it's fine. It won't hurt you anymore. We're done cooking.
Now we're gonna add the breadcrumbs that have been soaking in the milk.
You are not helping.
This is so yummy.
did forget the cheese. All right, sprinkle that in. Oh, my hands were clean. We gotta do this again?
No.
All right, I guess I'll do it. Okay, so now eggs.
Eggs. We beat the eggs in a bowl. We use a lot of eggs because that's what gives it the fluffiness and the...
Okay.
Keeps it together.
Okay.
Yes! Yes!
4. You did 5 eggs with no shells. Good job. Yeah, good job.
So you're just gonna oil your pan, put the meatballs in, and bake them in the oven at 375.
I'm not doing all this by myself. This isn't cooking with Mommy. This is cooking with Cal.
Come back up.
What do you think, Cal? So good. All right, for these recipes and more, head to today.com/food.
I love it. And as you can see from our happy
I know.
plates,
We've just been snacking and watching.
Oh my
It's
God.
good if you make the whole big batch. It sounds like a big recipe, but then you freeze them, you serve them to the whole family.
they're so good. And they're so easy
I'm so
to
glad
eat.
you like them. Thanks,
This is a
guys.
win. Welcome back today on Hoda and Jenna. They're reminiscing about their first apartment. That's a good one. And struggling with what it takes to get kids organized. Next.
So we thought it'd be kind of fun to think about the very first time we moved out of our parents' house, maybe, I don't know, after college or whatever, and got an apartment. You know, when you had to pay your rent, you had to pay your electricity and the cable and all that stuff.
It's so fun, the first apartment.
The very first.
Where was your first apartment?
Mine wasn't great. Mine was in a small town in Mississippi, and I remember it because it was literally it was a studio, but it was a room, and it had a Murphy bed, the kind that you pull down. So that's how you know how messy. It had the bed in the middle of the house, and the kitchen was this little. It was a burner and a thing and whatever, and there was a closet, and that was it.
Did you keep it clean?
No, but I couldn't even, like...
It was impossible.
When someone came, I would take the Murphy bed and just shove all the stuff in. But I remember how just little it was and how you realize it doesn't matter, you know, the space. Yeah, or the space at all. And it was just one of those, I couldn't keep it clean, but I remember it really well. But I remember feeling like a grown-up.
Yeah.
It's like I'm paying my rent and I'm paying my bills and I'm doing all that because, you know...
I was living in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
I lived with 5 people in a 4-bedroom house, so friends of ours shared. I stayed in the basement, which I loved. It was like the basement, which I think people would normally, you know, have a family room or something. But I slept there, and I could just walk straight out to my car, and I got the basement because I was a teacher, so I left the earliest of anybody to go to work. I left at the crack of dawn. But I had the fondest feelings for it, too.
Yeah.
It's like I loved that time, you know? I mean, it wasn't glamorous, but it was also so fun to be with all those friends and be working. And, I mean, anyway.
I just had a flashback of one of the worst moments in a home that I had. I was renting an apartment in Illinois. And I was sitting in the apartment, and you know when I just gotten out of the shower, and the pizza had come, and from the pizza guy. So anyway, I had a towel on. I just took the pizza, brought it in, and I was just sitting on the couch. You know when you're just like, I'm not.
Full on.
Wait, just didn't care. And it was a home that was owned by somebody. I was renting it, and I heard, and I was like, oh, no one's coming in. And I will never forget it. All of a sudden, I heard a key in the door because it was her house. I was renting it. And I was like, oh, my God. You know when you're at your worst self? Naked, eating pizza, sitting on the couch alone like a big, old loser, which I wasn't. Yes. And I still remember.
The woman, did you just
door.
cover,
I was like, oh my God, no. I go, I'm busy. Like, I didn't know what to say. I'm busy. I was like, and she came in and I just went running like in the back. Yeah. But I remember it because you live alone and you think that you're, anyway.
You think you're safe.
That has nothing to do with this program.
Do you still eat pizza naked on the couch?
No.
You grew out of that too.
Grew out of that.
Okay. Well, let's move on to vacation home debate. This is a very 2020.
No, this is better. This is
okay. Let's go. Should we talk about kids and organization?
Yeah, because you're good at decluttering. Whenever you come into my office space, you always declutter it.
Well, you went on a really good tear for a little bit about cleaning and feeling organized. Yeah. We're going to get you back there.
Okay. But what about your kids? Like, what about their rooms? What about their...
I try to make everything into a game.
Okay.
So and I did this with my students. It's so funny. We would put on music and we would all like help out. And I think the thing that I noticed with Hal, because he's the youngest, is when I'm like, clean up your trucks, if I don't help, it's overwhelming.
He doesn't do it, right.
You know what I mean? Like, if you just look at your closet and you know you have to do it, it's so much more fun.
Tell me what's the game? So what do you do?
So I'll put on a song and say, okay, let's clean up all of our toys by the time this is over.
The song's over, okay.
And everybody kind of helps out, you know?
Oh, that's a good one.
It's fun. And I think if you start like that, then by the time they're like independent, they sort of know what to do.
Well, you're good about being organized with stuff. I wonder if your kids watch you, because I think that's why my kids are messy.
Well, my mom is crazy clean.
She is. So you got that.
And I sort of hated it when I was little, but I was trying to think the other day because my kids actually, I dropped them off with their grandparents. Yeah. And so I don't, except for Hal.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was like, should I go up and just like clean out all their drawers? Like that sounded fun to me.
Right.
But then I was like, no.
I bet you, are their rooms pretty clean, your girls?
Outwardly, but there's stuff stuck inside. Okay, well, the Washington Post recently featured an article on ways to keep them organized. Here are the tips. Help them visualize clean. Before and after photos are a good way to do that. I'm going to do that for you. You know what? I'm going to take a Polaroid of your office when it looks good and just put it up on your mirror.
Maybe that might be motivating. Okay. And also they say create easy to-do lists with pictures of items cleaned up and organized, like clothes in the laundry basket, toys on the shelf, books stacked up.
Okay, or have a super specific places where everything goes with labels.
They love labels.
I know, but I'm not a good labeler. That's one thing I'm not great at. Okay. But maybe next year, right?
All right.
Okay. You know what? September is just around the corner, so you may be looking to spruce up your home for fall.
Jasmine Roth, she knows what she's doing. She's the host of Help, I Wrecked My House on HGTV, where she turns failed homes reno projects into beautiful, functional designs. Jasmine, hi. How are you?
Hi.
Oh, hang on. Oh, there you are. Okay, so talk us through. We want to know the hot trends. We want to be on trend this September.
We need help.
Okay, that's fair. I don't know how I became the trendy one because I feel like I'm not really that trendy, but there are a few that I am seeing and can't be ignored. So, you know how you always hear like, oh, you know, brown is the new black or green is the, here's the one, green is the new gray.
Green is the new gray.
What are you talking about?
So green is the neutral?
Instead of like your typical neutral, muted green tones are replacing gray as the new go-to color. So like green is calm, it's reminiscent of the outdoors, and it's a neutral that's found in nature. So green is this new color that from a psychology standpoint, it's very calming.
I like that green kitchen.
So yeah, this is actually from Help, I Wrecked My House. This is a new sneak peek of a kitchen that we did this season that's really just about to air.
It's beautiful. Good job. Beautiful. Okay, let's talk really quickly about the mural trend.
Yes. Okay, so murals are a way that you can really just add a lot of color and movement to a room. And it doesn't have to be expensive. You can use paint. So this is called color blocking. And you can just paint big shapes on a wall. It makes a huge difference. It's easy to change. I mean, trends change, right? We're talking about trends for a reason because they're trends. And then there's other things you can do. I did a nursery where I used a Sharpie marker on the wall, and I didn't have money for wallpaper, but it made a huge impact. And, you know, some of these are great examples of how to, this is a really big wall, actually. You can see it went all the way 2 stories high. You can really change the look of a space. without a lot of money. But yeah, oh, this is the Sharpie wall.
Wow,
Do you see those?
I cannot
That is
believe
not
you
wallpaper.
did that. That's,
You're unbelievable. Well, that's because you're you.
Yeah, you're talented.
Wow.
If I took a Sharpie to the wall, I would look like Poppy took a Sharpie to the wall.
No, it really wasn't that hard.
Well, we want to say thank you. We'll put our last trend online, but we want to say thank you, Jasmine. The new season of Help, I Wrecked My House premieres Monday on HGTV, and it was fun to get that little
Yeah,
sneak peek.
thank you, Jasmine. Welcome back to our special hour dedicated to Home Sweet Home. Hoda will be back a little later in the show. And one way to create an inviting living space is by clearing out all that clutter. So right now, we're going to help you tackle what might be the messiest space in your home, the garage. Maybe your garage looks like this, or maybe this, or this. Not to worry, no job is too tough for the Neat Method organization expert, Ashley Jones-Hatcher, who dropped by when Chanel was here with some awesome ideas. Take a look.
The garage can feel so overwhelming when you step into it and try to figure out how to organize it, but it's so easy. So one of the things that we love doing at Neat Method is creating zones. Over here, you're going to find that this is all sports and outdoor related.
Oh.
And if you break your areas into zones, it just helps keep things so much more together. Cool. So one of the things that I think is really helpful is to get things off the ground. And this storage solution from Amazon helps do just that. This is storing lawn chairs, beach umbrellas, and it makes such a difference. And it's really easy too. It's got Velcro straps that are adjustable.
And is that the freestanding storage unit?
No, that's right here.
What is that?
So for the freestanding, so this is a shelving system that allows you to also go vertical in your garage space. So here you'll notice the shelves are adjustable, and I've got different categories labeled on each shelf to really drill in and make things a lot easier for us to find.
Yeah, I mean, we were both saying this is the best looking garage we've ever seen. And one of the things that you do so well is that you use clear containers.
Yes. I mean, it helps you see what's where, right? It makes it so much easier for you to find things quickly. But these are actually weather-tight containers. They're from the Container Store, and they're a necessary item in your garage. It's going to help with keeping all that water, all those bugs out so that your stuff stays protected and nothing gets inside of it. So every garage needs these totes.
You know, it's interesting, too, because quite often, if I don't have a clear container, I forget what's in it.
Yeah.
And then you don't even use it. And then before you know, the kids can't fit it if I put clothes in there. So you talk about getting things off the ground. Is this a solution to that?
Yes, this is a utility track system. It's also from the Container Store. But you'll see here, things like this stroller, if you try to lay it on or set it up on the ground, it's going to fall over.
Right.
So these have all types of hooks and accessory options. It's easy to use and allows things to stay where they need to.
Now, walk us over to the helmets and the hats. This looks like a very, those containers, or what is that exactly? Some sort of tack board?
Let me tell you, this is from Wall Control, and this is like the way to add personality to your garage. This company has 12 different colors of pegboards, and you'll see here I created sort of a sports zone. Wow. We've got a drop zone to make life easier to get out of the house, and then I've also put the kid helmets down here to make it easier for you to get to them and to help get the kids involved. I know you guys have kids too, right?
Yeah, and believe me, our garages do not look like this.
Yeah, and my kids play soccer. We have more balls than I can't even tell you.
So if you have all the balls in the world, you need this mesh storage bag. Let me tell you what's so amazing. It can Velcro open right here so that you don't have to, let's say you want the blue ball at the bottom. You Velcro open and grab what you want, and then you can close it right back instead of having to dig through the entire ball bag.
I know what to get Chanel for Christmas.
Please.
All right, bikes. Bikes take up the most room, and so, wow.
Look at this.
You hang them.
Yeah, you hang them because, you know, new bikes, they don't always have kickstands either. So this here is from Store Your Board. It has adjustability. It can store up to 5 bikes. I love that there's a shelf above so you can keep knee pads and extra bike parts and accessories. And, you know, your kids may not put their bike up every single time, but at least knowing that it has a permanent home is huge.
That's so cool. And wait, really quickly, what about like little scooters?
Oh, I was hoping you guys would ask about that. So look here.
Oh, look
These
at that.
two-wheeled scooters, they have their own little parking garage too. Now, normally we would turn this over to the side there, but these guys will not stay up on their own.
It's true.
This scooter stand from Amazon, it's like $11. It is well worth the investment. This is all the tool area. So we're going to start here with this utility track. Now, this is from the Container Store. This entire track is in 3 pieces, $70, but it helps you get your broom off. Each one of these has a weight capacity of about 100, so we're looking at 300 total. This ladder is very heavy, and it's standing up there just fine.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so for your hardware, which again, nobody has ever seen something this organized in their entire life. Talk to us about this wall.
I love this wall. This is for all things tools. I mean, one of the biggest things about organizing is if you don't see it, you are not going to use it.
100%.
This system, it helps you. And remember, these are the same pegboards from Wall Control. We're using all the same color here, and we're showing a different use for it. And Wall Control has screwdriver accessories, tool magnetic strips, all these things that help you put your tools on display.
So what about people who want some shelving in their garages? What do you think is the best use of that space?
So again, on your shelves, you're going to want to make sure that you're creating zones and giving everything a specific purpose. So we've got this tool chest right here, this pull-out drawer. This is from Lowe's, and it stores all your nuts, your bolts, your washers, and there's so many sizes for all of those parts. So this is going to help keep it in shape so that you're not running around frantically looking for a piece when you're going to assemble something.
I mean, we can never find any of that. So, and then you keep all your old paint on the top, it looks like up there.
Yeah, I mean, to make it a little prettier, we color-coded the cans just because we want to give a little razzle-dazzle. But yeah, we're storing things up. And the other thing you want to keep in mind, this client has kids. So things like paint, chemicals, cleaners, we want to keep those a little bit higher up and out of reach so that the kids aren't getting their hands on them.
Okay, you also say the ceiling.
Ceiling, that's what I want to see.
Utilize the ceiling.
Yeah, we've got, look at this guy here. So this is an overhead ceiling mounted rack. You have all of this ceiling space. You might as well use it. Now, I would say that you want to use this for things that are seasonal. So you don't want to be getting up and down on the ladder all day long, right? But holiday decorations go perfect up here because you take them down when you need them, and when the holiday is over, you put it back up.
What a clever idea, putting all those seasonal items on the ceiling. To check out any of those products, head to today.com/shop.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Find your favorite recipes, celebrity interviews, uplifting stories, shop our favorite deals, and so much more with the Today app. Download it now.